Saying goodbye at the airport, it still didn't really seem real. It felt like maybe I'd be going back next weekend to see Mum and Dad again, so I didn't really say anything I had planned to say. Sitting on the plane, I kind of realised that that was it. I'd had my chance, it was gone. This was me by myself, away from my family, on my own. And it was kind of scary knowing that it had begun. We were met off the plane by a nice young man called Stephen. He's the regional supervisor. But he was lovely to us and gave us welcoming talks. And then on the Friday night, we had a formal banquet meal with all our link teachers.
Because you first of all feel like a tourist, so you get used to the bikes and the food and the people and the atmosphere, and then you're sort of part of it before you have a chance to feel a culture shock, I think. Eggs, we discovered the other day. You can get eggs that are cooked in soy sauce, and you can get eggs that are fetuses. They've got fetuses in them.
The warrior dresses up to do battle.
Hi, my name's Anna. I'm in China, in Suzhou. Live with Kate, you've met her already. And this is a class which you'll come and watch. Okay?
I get up about 7:30 and miss breakfast because it's too early. And then normally have lessons from about 8 till 1ish and have lunch. Then in the afternoon I either go out or sometimes I do one-to-one teaching with some of the students.
And teaching was nerve-wracking to start off with, but it's got so much better. It's now just natural. It's really nothing to worry about.
It's not a holiday. That's one thing you have to understand, that when you come out here, you have volunteered to take on the commitment for 5 months, but that's not to say it isn't fun.
I taught them Humpty Dumpty yesterday.
She's a good teacher.
More? No.
No kid is the same. Every single kid has got very, very mixed problems, and you have to deal with them very, very individually to get the most out of them.
Listen, because I set the... Oi, sit down. I set the exam, all right, so I know what's in it. So if you listen now, we do some questions, it'll help you a lot for the exam, because I know what questions are going to turn up. All right? Oi. E.T. in class.
This is speech therapy. This is an individual session with Miss Coolman here, who just turned 16. On last week, wasn't it? Last Tuesday or Wednesday. Diane, she's, on the whole, she communicates, but she's non-verbal. So, what the speech therapist have devised for is a communication book. And as you can see, it has a series of shapes and signals and whatever. And using that, Diane should be able to communicate.
You are treated as a teacher, which is very strange coming straight from school, because you're on the wrong side of the desk.
They get to find out about English people and English culture, and I get to find out about them at the same time.
You happy and you know it, clap your hands.
I haven't learnt anything specific, I don't think. But obviously I've learnt a lot about China, because I didn't have a clue about China before I came out here. And that's crap, I've learnt loads. I've learnt how to stand in front of a class of 50 people and talk to them and get their interest and feel good about myself after I come out.
Here we've got Siren, and he's teaching Mondi to swim and he's giving her a little bit of relaxation. She's a quadriplegic, and she's an apatoid as well, which means some of her movements are quite jerky. She's 11, she's very, very big for 11. She's 11 years old, aren't you, Mondi?
Welsh boy, hard at work.
It's hard work, man.
I'm here at the Budapest School for Blind and Partially Sighted Children, and this is the school, and I'm having a great time. The people are really friendly, and this is the English teacher, and it's cool.
Our accommodation is organised by the school through GAP, so we weren't thrown in with holes in the ground for toilets or sharing a bathroom between 80 people or anything.
This is fabulous. We've got these porters who are absolute comedians. And we've got the fabulous house around there with our very own Count and Countess.
Compared to home, it's completely different. I can do what I want when I want mainly, as long as I'm in my lessons on time and I get home before 11 for my curfew.
We don't have a television.
Or a fridge, I'd like to point that out.
Or a washing machine.
Or a kettle. Or a toaster.
What? No, a cooker.
We've got a cooker and a sink and
a bath, which is next to the cooker.
Hugh's got Sky Television, he's got a separate bathroom, he's got a fridge and a kettle. But it's just different. Different gappers have different accommodation.
And an espresso maker.
But I think this room's nice. We've got some posters.
Nice, you got some posters.
We actually managed to buy these in India.
Did you?
Yeah. Bit risque for India.
I need some, but probably not like that.
So give us your final thoughts on the room, and I'll turn it off.
I think it's lovely. I think any girl would be very impressed being brought back to a pad like this.
In the middle there should be a black irregular thing. Black circle. Oh, is that what it says? Yeah. Oh, we're hay. Oh, excellent. Apparently you've got to do that every 15 minutes just to get a 5-minute shower. Back to the shower.
This is where we live.
It's a triumphant moment. You've succeeded in getting the spin dryer to work.
Look at that, it can't be true.
With this, yes, and suck it down.
They've got all the food and all the wives.
They have a big communal dish, and you just take bread, and you just pick off the bits you want and eat it with everything. Everything is eaten with bread, like chips are eaten with bread.
Here's Andrew doing his chilli cutting. Always enjoys the chillies.
I'm the head chilli chopper here.
The school takes you out sometimes and you get excellent meals.
Well, the diving was absolutely incredible. And we've just stopped for lunch on one of these little islands and we've got a lovely buffet, as you can see.
Yum! Peanut butter. Alright. So we can do approval. Okay.
Cut some vegetables, man.
Okay, this is what we think is a typical street in India. They've got a cow, Dan walking straight past the cow and the bus. Seeing the mountains in the background there.
For the last 3 weeks we've had nothing but really warm weather. And this morning I woke up to find snow. Very strange the weather here.
And Jana, you lazy troller, are you gonna get up or what? We can beat any old Chinese person at spitting. All the time you hear in the street. Look at that! Now what? Those bits of coal, aren't they? No, it's mud. Why are they selling mud? Two wicked old ladies, cool.
This is Andres.
With amazing Epodirac tools.
And a stone. All part of life as a volunteer.
This is June in Shimla. It's beautiful.
Good morning, Mr. Saunders. Here we have the principal. I'm very, very well.
They were 10 in the bed, then the little one said, roll over, roll over. They all rolled over and one fell out, landed in the potty and couldn't get out. Please remember to tie a knot in your pajamas. Single beds will only make a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And once I was cycling home and I cycled past this bus, and as I went past the window I felt this wet thing on my cheek. I was like, oh no. Someone had spat out the window and it landed on me.
This is the monkey that came into our
and licked our milk.
and licked my bread.
And he's now
drinking
cleaning our pillow. Cheers, mate.
Look at his face.
Oh, what's wrong with your face? Oh.
Okay, Mum?
Yes, okay, Mum.
Right, this is really dangerous what we had to do here.
That's right.
Right, you get the 2 wires like this, and then you switch it on so that you know whether it's sparking. If it sparks blue, then it's working.
Sometimes to come out here.
And you stick it in there, and then heat your water up in the bucket. But it's not working.
Don't put your hand in, otherwise you electrocute yourself.
Yeah, if you put your hand in, then you go up your arm.
Okay. You just get closer with his ugly mug.
Look at his face.
Oh, the melon pips are coming out of his nose.
You need a bottle opener. Everybody must bring a bottle opener. You need a hot water bottle. It sounds ridiculous, but you need it. Listen when they talk about mundane, boring stuff like plasters, sting relief stuff. I didn't, and I'm the one who gets bitten the entire time. You need...
Chocolate.
Chocolate, yes, chocolate. You will miss it more than you ever dreamed possible.
J-cloths, if you're like us, or you're washing out until you've really got absolutely nothing left, it's all fermenting away, you really need a J-cloth to scrub it off. You can't buy them anywhere, believe you me.
Alarm clock. Definitely bring an alarm clock.
An open mind.
Invest in a copy of The Lonely Planet.
And the phrase book.
And the phrase book, yeah.
Totally invaluable.
Be your Bibles.
Be prepared for the unexpected.
They'd rather you take the day off school to go and visit somewhere than be at school, if you know what I mean. They want you to see Hungary.
We don't climb over the gate every night at all, but we've had a few problems, especially when we first came here, because we go out fully intending to come back because we've got a 9 o'clock curfew, and because we didn't know our way around that much, we got lost and whatever, blah blah blah, didn't get back in time, and so we had to climb over the gate, which isn't that much of a problem. I mean, it's not, we don't do it very often at all. In fact, we don't do it if we can't help it, but sometimes it is necessary.
Up, up, up. You have to be able to draw the line because you can't be seen by your students to be completely crazy or they won't respect you. But you can have a hell of a lot of fun with them and with the teachers.
Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, headmaster, honoured guests. Welcome to the New Boys Show. Because we've done our best,
Please clap us when we get it right.
And overlook the rest.
I think this Indian's just having a bit of a laugh because we've crossed the river and now he wants us to cross it again.
Actually, we've invented a disco in our room, which is quite good because we turn the lights out and we've got the disco lights on the stereo, and we open the fridge and the fridge light comes on and it looks really cool, so we dance. It looks...
You know how sad that's.
Yeah.
Here we are.
here is the school band. Yeah, rock stars!
And I'm a bird chilling out. I'm a bit chilling out, yeah.
Quite cool. This is the coolest thing we've found in Krakow so far.
Oh, the wind in our sails. Oh, God, we're on the road.
We're on the river, man.
We're on the river, we're on the road.
We're in a marketplace in Chichi. There it is. This is us atop the pyramid of the moon. We are on the sand dunes in the middle of the desert.
Okay, we're here on the Great Wall and we've climbed about a few steps. We're absolutely knackered already.
For Florence now.
That's Michelangelo's thing, we think.
This is a sacrificial altar. Almost a total eclipse of the moon. This is a huge 32 metre high waterfall.
We went up to Monsoon Palace, which is that lighted building over there just now.
Crikey.
And now we've come...
So there you have it, swimming in the Mexican jungle. Who'd have thought it? I certainly didn't.
Have you got it?
Here is a dead rat.
Oh my God! Run!
Our young heroine is ill.
These are the bad times.
These are the bad times when there's nothing to do.
Just sit around in the cold.
Even the bad bits are really good. They are definitely a wonderful experience.
I always have such a good time when I come round to your place. I'm not walking 10 minutes with this. Look, come on, it's in a plastic bag.
It's wet.
What am I going to do? Well, go please somewhere. You're a rat.
Meanwhile...
My job is mainly to liaise between Hungary and the United Kingdom and to travel out here twice a year and to not only to interview but also to brief the young British volunteers that come out here.
This is Paul Davis, our GAP agent here. He's just brought us here for the day, which is very kind of him.
Well, they don't know what's going to happen to them yet.
Everyone's very, very tired already.
This is where the KGB headquarters was.
It's nice not having someone always there checking up on you, definitely, but at the same time it is nice to have a link teacher that you can go to and know that if something did go wrong, if you did have a crisis, there are loads of people you can call.
I'm a link teacher for GAP projects.
Unfortunately, the clouds are closing in fast. So Paul Davis said we've got to go back because it gets very dangerous up here.
We're very much the administrative supportive centre for the whole of the organisation.
Good afternoon, GAP House.
Went to the interview and it was completely what I didn't expect the interview because it was mostly what kind of difficult situations have you been in, how did you deal with them, all that kind of thing, which is very difficult to answer when you're throwing them on the spot like that. I didn't think I did terribly well in the interview and I came out and thought, oh well, there goes China. I'm going to have to go and work at McDonald's or whatever for a year. But I got accepted and I was absolutely overjoyed when it came through in the post.
Buenas tardes, bienvenidos a GAP.
Went to the briefing a few months before we left, which was good.
Una muy buena jornada para llegar acá.
Excellent opportunity to meet all the other GAPers and meet your partner as well, because I hadn't met my GAP partner and we discovered we got on like a house on fire, which is cool. Obviously, you get so many questions in your head, hundreds of questions, and you can ask them and you realise everyone else has got the same fears and the same worries and the same hopes as you. So it's good opportunity.
We have briefings for every country where we send young people, and when they're on placement as well, if they really have a problem, then they would contact me by phone or the project manager.
I think that GAP is organised very well. The speed in which they handled all the interviews, which they sent back your replies, everything like that, is done very efficiently. You can phone up GAP at any time if you've got any problems before you leave the country. I must have phoned up about 6 or 7 times. I'm sure most people did.
That's fine. What can I tell you about it?
Before we left England, we had to attend a week of teaching English as a foreign language, as a week introductory course.
It is basic, but it gives you that little extra boost of confidence when the time comes to stand in front of 40 screaming children.
I think my gap year was certainly an experience that changed my life. I spent it in Berlin, which was very good. It was before the wall came down, so I learned a lot about walls. Interesting brickwork you can see behind me. But improved my German, which is what I went on to do, and I think I learned a lot about myself, which I seem to have forgotten since.
We get tens of thousands of applicants each year. And you're always looking for something that's distinctive, something that helps people jump out of the page at you. A gap year can help you do that.
Hello? Have a go. You've got just as much of a chance as somebody else.
Hello? Hello?
The fact that GAP target not just the private schools but the state schools as well is a big plus for us.
It's my stupid pizza!
I think it's actually a distinct advantage to show that you've taken the initiative, that you've done something at the right time.
I've done it! I've done it! Yeah, don't
GAP have got a computer database, and if you agree, you can get your name put on the database. And companies like law firms, Freshfields for example, and business management firms, big firms basically, can get in touch with the database and find people who've worked in certain areas doing certain things in certain countries.
It's my stupid pizza!
We are looking for people who like to be quite resilient, who can adapt to different cultures, sometimes in quite difficult circumstances. And that, of course, is precisely what GAP volunteers are doing.
Very good. Good, very good.
Yes,
Ladies and gentlemen, tables and chairs, Mr. Alan Flagg.
They have an international attitude to all matters, and GAP sits at the centre of things and communicates with 37 different countries all over the world. I think that is a tribute to actually what they do, and they have been doing it for 25 years very successfully.
Every time the GAPper is leaving my school, the students gathered at the school gate, and some students, they even had tears in their eyes. So the GAPers are quite welcome in my school, in my city, and in Jiangsu province.
I'd be really, really sad to say goodbye to the school and to the students, and to finish the whole GAP thing, because it really has been the best time of my life. It's been fantastic.
We've done it 5 months, 6 months. Survived it and more importantly enjoyed it. Big achievement. And we're still friends.
You might remember me at the beginning of the tape saying that I didn't really want to be here. Now I don't really want to go home.
There you go, there's a change round.
Yeah.
I've definitely benefited, yeah. I hope some of my students at least have benefited.
It's really deeply affected me in a really, really very positive way. And the flight's in 2 hours. You know, thanks.
Your attention please, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be taking off immediately.
No, I'd recommend anybody to take a year out, go through GAP, see what they can do, then go on to university. And I think you'd find you have a much more mature approach to life, more mature approach to studies, not quite such a wild life, and perhaps you might get a better degree and a better job at the end of it.
To take 1 year and make a contribution to your world is a good thing to do. And in the kind of society we're moving into, will be seen as a good thing to do. You're a global citizen. It's time to act like one.
Just do it. A gap year is quite an incredible experience. It's something that, if you haven't considered it, you should definitely turn your mind towards it.
A lot of people said to me, oh, I can't have a year out, I can't afford it, which is a valid point, but I would actually say that you can actually work for it, but we weren't actually given any money whatsoever. Alex and I had nothing last summer. We got a job and we earned the money ourselves. I think you can make it happen, and GAP is a brilliant experience. Don't just pass it off as something that other people do that you'll never do.